What's up, family? Man, what's up? What's up? Back out here in North Kakalaki. That's what I call North Carolina for some reason. I've called it that since I was a kid. Man, I'm back out in the wilderness, man. This is my sanctuary. You know what I mean? This is my sanctuary. I love this. You know what I mean? Man, I love this. You got the pond behind me. I don't know if you guys can see that. Man, this is, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Man, family, we're gonna go in today. It's gonna be like 80 something degrees today, so I'm gonna go to the gym after this. But man, we're gonna go in today. And before we get started, man, let me take this opportunity to may God bless each and every one of you that come on this live. You know what I mean? May He continue to draw you closer to Him. Man, may you reach or obtain that peace that passes all understanding, get that joy, that love, you know what I mean, that you're looking for in life. Those of you that watch the video, you know, later on, man, may you receive the same blessings. What's up, Michelle? What's up, Miss Rocky? What's up, babe? Man, we're going to go in today, okay? Man, this is going to be kind of sensitive for a lot of you. It's going to be very transparent on my behalf, man, and it's going to be a real touchy subject, you know what I mean? We're talking about love and judgment. Love and judgment. Man, yesterday I was watching one of my favorite Robin Williams movie, What Dreams May Come. My queen and I were sitting there, we were watching that, and man, we love that movie. You know what I mean? We love that movie, and there's so much about that movie that resonates, you know, with her and I, you know what I mean? And as we were sitting there watching it, kept pausing it and just talking and, you know, just tripping out on just the similarities, you know, between that movie and our life. And so, man, after that, what's up, Coach Prince, and what's up, Lou? Man, I got a phone call from my oldest son, and it was just, this is gonna be a sensitive subject, you know what I mean? But man, I got a phone call from my oldest son, and it was totally different from the vibe that my queen and I had, you know, where it was just all lovey-dovey and just full of love, you know, a place of love. Stay with me. We're talking about love and judgment, okay? And so me and my queen were sitting there, we're watching this movie, and we're just all in love with each other, and we're just sitting there just talking about this movie and just taking in the vibe and the energy from this movie. And then I get a phone call later on, and it's the complete opposite. It's the complete opposite, and it's my oldest son. You know what I mean? It is what it is, you know what I mean? And for whatever reason, my oldest son always comes from a place of judgment. Stay with me, we're going somewhere. He comes from a place of judgment. He doesn't realize that he comes from a place of judgment. And man, family, I'm sharing this because a lot of you are parents, you know what I mean? A lot of you are young parents, a lot of you are old heads like myself, you know what I mean? And you have to understand karma, you reap what you sow, you know, and there's no good karma, there's no bad karma. It is just, you know, universal law. You reap what you sow, you know what I mean? And so, man, as a young kid, man, I grew up very judgmental because of all the hell that I went through. I grew up a victim, mad at the world, blaming everybody for my life. You know what I mean? And so I stood in judgment against Christianity. I stood in judgment of God. I stood in judgment of my father. I just stood in judgment of my aunt who raised me and all these other people. You know what I mean? Not even understanding that I was standing in judgment of them. You know what I mean? Not even understanding that I was criticizing them and putting them, never have knowing their story, never having understood the pain and the trauma and the drama that they went through in life. And yet here it is, as this little kid, I'm standing in judgment of them. Yet as a little kid, I'm sitting and telling them that they pretty much suck. And that, man, I told my dad, man, I got a bullet with your name written on it. I wanted to kill my father. You know what I mean? Because I stood in judgment of him for murdering my mom. You know what I mean? And so, man, I had all this anger, all this hatred, all this self-righteousness of how I thought life should have been, how I thought life could be, and how they should be living their life. Never having walked in their footsteps, never understanding the pain and the turmoil that they went through just to get to where they were at. I saw where they were at, and I wasn't satisfied with where they were at. I saw where they were at, and I wasn't happy with it. I saw where they were at, and I was standing in condemnation of them for not being further along, being where I thought they should have been. And again, I didn't know the hell that they had to go through just to get to that point. Just to get to right where they were at. Man, I'm judging them. I'm blasting them. You know what I mean? Because, man, y'all sucking. Why'd I gotta be born in this family? And y'all should be better than it. And we should have more money. And whoop. I'm going on one. You know what I mean? I'm standing in judgment. And I'm sharing this because so often, man, parents, man, no matter what you do, what's up, Lisa? No matter what you do, man, your kids ain't gonna be happy. No matter what you do, your kids are always gonna have something to complain about. No matter what you do, your kids are gonna stand there in a place of judgment. Well, you should have did this, and you should have did this, and you shouldn't have did this, and we shouldn't have to go through this. And no matter what your intentions was, you could have all the pure intentions that you wanted, and your kids are still going to stand in judgment of you because, man, life should have been easier for them. Life should have been better for them. Because they have that victim mentality, because they're standing in self-righteousness and judgment, not even understanding that they are. Stay with me. We're talking about judgment. We're talking about karma. We're talking about you reap what you sow. What's up, Portal? And so, man, I'm sharing this because my kids know my story. You know what I mean? They know the hell that I've gone through, a lot of the hell that I've gone through. And yet, for whatever in their twisted concept of thought process, man, I should be further along than where I'm at. Yet, even though I've gone through all that, and I'm sharing this from you because I need you to understand, sometimes we could go through so much hell, and those are quote unquote chosen ones, those that are, anointed or whatever you want to call it, man, star seeds, whatever. We come here and we go through so much hell. What's up, Lisa? And man, because we make it look easy, everybody else is minimizing the hell that we went through. Because we make it look like, man, it wasn't nothing. It was no big thing at all. Man, this was easy. Man, it's a cake breeze. Man, I'm just walking through it. Because we made life and our struggles look so easy, regardless of the fact that we were broken and devastated and crushed on the inside, man, but we did what we had to do. We got up every day and kept pushing forward. We kept trying to help, inspire, encourage, and empower other people. And yet, our loved ones, our kids, our family members look at us as though, man, you didn't really go through nothing. I saw what you went through. That was nothing. Man, you should have been further along than that. And they're standing in judgment because of where you've been, not where you've been or where you're at. Not really understanding the pain, the struggles, the chaos, the hell that you had to go through just to get there. You know what I mean? We're talking about judgment and love. And the trip is, and so I was talking to my son and I was like, dude, hold up, time out. Wait a minute. You're 30 years old. What the fuck have you done in life? Stay with me. What the fuck have you done in life, John? You know what I mean? No disrespect intended. Dude, you didn't go through the fucking hell that I went through. You didn't see your dad murder your mom at 2 years old. You wasn't sexually molested twice. You didn't grow up in an environment, in a hellish situation to where you were constantly put down verbally, emotionally, and physically beat like that. You wasn't prepared to spend the rest of your life in prison. You wasn't told over and over how stupid you were and how you end up in prison for the rest of your life or dead before you turned 18. You didn't grow up in that environment. How the fuck can you speak on some shit you don't know nothing about? And so because I went through all of that, and now at the age of 20-something, I find myself as a single father. Stay with me. We're not justifying shit. We're just laying the groundwork of love and judgment. And so at the age of 20-something, I find myself as a single father of two. And now I'm struggling financially trying to raise these two kids. And man, over and over, man, the thought of, man, give these kids up. Man, give these kids over to the system. Turn these kids over to the state of California. Let them raise them. Man, your life could be so much easier if you wasn't trying to raise these two kids. Man, you would have so much more if you wasn't trying to raise these kids. Look at all the women that don't want to be with you because you got two kids and they don't want to be some other woman's kid. They don't want to be the parent to some other woman's kids. And so you got all these women, they just want to have sex and they just want to fuck, but they don't want to commit in a relationship because they see you with baggage. And you raising these two kids is baggage to them. And this is in the 90s before so many guys became fathers, you know what I mean? And so in the 90s, I'm raising my 2 kids, and all these women looking at me and acting like, man, no, I can't fuck with you. We could go out and have drinks and fuck and do all this other stuff, but man, we can't be in no relationship because you got kids, and I ain't trying to deal with that. And so, man, the thought process is like, fuck, I'm never going to be happy. Man, my battle's always going on. Stay with me. And so I'm talking to my son, and I'm trying to explain to my son, dude, you don't know the pain. You'll never understand the pain that I've gone through just to raise you and your sister. You'll never understand the loneliness that I went through, the sacrifices that I made just to be in your life. Just to be in your life so that you didn't grow up in the system. And so I sit back and I'm looking at my son. I'm like, what the fuck why is it that my kids are always so judgmental of me? Why is it that my kids are always looking at me and like, dang, you should be further along than where you at. You should have accomplished more than what you have. And whoop-de-whoop-de, they have all this stupid shit that they have to say. They look at everybody else's life that they deem successful and they praise them. They worship them. They put them up on a pedestal, never knowing the fucking hell that these people have gone through to get there. But they idolize all these other people, and yet they sit there and look at me and it's like, okay, Dad, well, you didn't really go through nothing. Okay, Dad, yeah, I know you went through that, but that's so what? That was when you were a kid. You should have been beyond that. And they have all this stupid shit to say. I'm talking about love and judgment. And so, family, you have to get to the point where it's like, man, I don't need your fucking affirmations. I don't need your fucking validation. Yeah, it broke my heart. It broke my heart to hear my kids praise and pump up all these other people. And I'm sitting there, damn, I was the first one that taught you that. I was the one that introduced you to that. We'll do all this other stupid shit, right? And God had to show me, it's like, dude, get out of that. Nothing you say is ever going to be good enough. Nothing you do is ever going to be good enough. Not for your kids. Understand that karma, you reap what you sow. And so often we think of karma is, oh, this person did me wrong. Man, they're going to reap the karma for that. And man, you broke my heart and you did this and you left me and you did it. We look at all these other people that have done us wrong and we expect karma and we demand karma to come back on them. Never understanding the fact that, dang, you know, as a kid, I stood in judgment of my father. As a kid, I stood in judgment of all these people that was in my life. And I'm criticizing them and going off on them for not being better, not doing more, not having accomplished more. Karma says, man, you reap what you sow, and it always comes back more than what you put out. And so the obvious thing is, damn, I gotta go through this with my kids. You know what I mean? I gotta go through this with my kids. Why? Because that's my karmic debt. You reap what you sow. There's no escaping that. There is no escaping that. You reap what you sow. And so, man, what does that got to do with love? Man, I'm sitting there, we're watching that movie, What Dreams May Come, Robin Williams. Family, man, if you haven't seen that movie, man, go check out that movie. You can find it on Prime, Amazon Prime. What Dreams May Come. Man, one of the greatest love stories ever told. And I made a video talking about this in the past. What Dreams May Come. And the trip is, in the movie, Robin Williams, you know, how can I say this? He and his wife meet, right? And they have 2 kids. And they're madly in love. They just adore the hell out of each other, him and his wife. Man, they worship each other. They're so in love with, like soulmates, twin flames, right? Just, man, they just so in love with each other. And they have 2 kids, right? And one day the nanny is driving the kids to school and they're killed in a car wreck. And the mom loses it. You know what I mean? She loses it. She has a nervous breakdown and she's in the hospital, right? And man, she's contemplating suicide, attempted suicide, and all this other stuff. Man, I can't imagine having lost 2 kids. You know what I mean? I can't imagine that pain, that suffering that she went through. Stay with me. We're talking about love and judgment. And so here it is, man. She was broken. She was broken for having lost her 2 kids, because the trip is, her daughter asked her to drive them to school that day, and she told her no, the nanny was going to. And so the mom blamed herself for the kids dying. And she couldn't forgive herself. And so later on in the movie, Robin Williams, the mom's out of the hospital, and she's an artist and she's doing good, right? And man, she asked Robin to swing by, and he picks up some artwork for her, and he's bringing it to her, and he's killed in a car wreck. And so here it is, just 4 years prior to her husband, her soulmate, her twin flame, her best friend, her homie, her road, her anchor, her everything. Man, 4 years prior to her husband dying, her kids were killed in a car accident. Now all she got left is her husband. And he's killed in a car accident, going to do something for her. And so when you think about the story, it's like, damn, the pain that this lady's gone through. She wouldn't give her kids a ride to school that day. And so they were, in her mind, they were killed. Man, her husband, she called her husband because she went on one and she was having a nervous breakdown, and he went to go do something for her. And because he was out there doing something for her, he's put in another situation to where he's killed. So all the love of her life, her kids, her husband, they're taken from her through car accidents. And so she's left behind, you know what I mean? Struggling with this. And then she commits suicide, you know? And so Robin Williams, the movie comes in to where Robin Williams, man, he's so happy to see her. Well, not to see her, but to know that she's died, because he wants to be with her again, because they're soulmates, they're twin flames. They're supposed to be with each other. And so she ends up going to hell in the movie. And Robin Williams loves his wife so much. Stay with me. We're talking about love and judgment. Robin Williams loves his wife so much that he's willing to leave heaven and go to hell to get her. Stay with me. And I talked about this in the past, and all these Christians came on, well, there's no greater love than Jesus. And we're not talking about that. We're not trying to compare Jesus and Robin Williams. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? I'm just talking about Robin Williams in this movie loved his wife so much that he was willing to leave heaven to go search for her in hell. There's another scene in the movie where Robin Williams' son appears as Cuba Gooding Jr. And Cuba Gooding Jr. is like escorting him and taking him to heaven and showing him around and just being like a guide for him, not understanding that Cuba Gooding Jr. is actually Robin Williams' son. And so Robin Williams tells his son earlier in the movie that, man, there's no other person I'd rather go through hell with than you. He's telling his son that. Robin Williams is telling his oldest son, or his only son, man, if I had to go to hell, if I had to go through hell, man, I wouldn't want anybody else by my side other than you. And so now they're getting ready to go to hell. They're in hell because Cuba Gooding Jr. and this other guy is taking Robin Williams to find his wife. And Cuba Gooding, there's a scene comes up, and there's this big battleship that's all broken down and burnt up and just a mess. And you got all these people, all these souls, all these entities on this ship, got all these weapons, and they're ready to attack Robin Williams and Cuba Gooding Jr. as they walk in here. Why? Because they're wanting to go find his wife. They're wanting to go find their mom. And Robin Williams realizes, wait a minute. This is my son. This is Cuba Gooding Jr. is my son. And he yells at Cuba, man, your mom's not in there. Don't go. And he grabs his son. He don't have any weapons. And there's a scene where he stands up and he pulls up his hand. Cuba again, he throws up his hands like this. And that mentality, we do that in the hood. It's like, man, it is what it is. What's up? You know what I mean? What's up? What you gonna do? What we gonna do? You know what I mean? And we're throwing up our hands like, man, let's go. Let's go. I ain't got no weapons on me, but let's go. I don't care what you got. Let's go. Why? Because my love for my mom is so great. I don't give a damn what you talking about. I don't give a damn what you about right now. I'm coming to get my mom. Fuck the bullshit you on. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. I don't give a fuck what you think you're going to do. Man, I'm coming to get my mom. Why? Because that's the love that I have for her. I'm talking about love and judgment. And so Robin Williams grabs his son and says, no. And so I tripped out on that scene, and I'm sitting there thinking about, man, that's the that's the epitome of love. That's the epitome of love. Man, what are you willing to go through for the person you love? Are you willing to go through hell for the person you say you love? Are you willing to ride or die for the person you say you love? Because there's so many of us, man, soon as shit get rough, soon as, man, the finances get funny, soon as whatever starts happening, man, something better come along, something younger come along, something prettier come along, something looking a little nicer come along. Man, we're ready to give up. Man, fuck this. He got a better car. I'm out. Deuces. Man, she got a better body. She's younger and she's woo-doo-doo. Man, I'm out. Deuces. So many of us were ready to give up because shit gets rough, because shit gets hot. And what Robin Williams was showing us in the movie is like, man, I don't care what happens, come hell or high water, man, because I love her, man, I'm gonna go through what I gotta go through. I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. You can say all you want to that I can't go to hell and I can't go get my wife. Watch me. I don't give a fuck what you say can't happen. I didn't come here to listen to you talk about what I can't do. I didn't come here. Man, my whole life people be telling me what I can't do. My whole life people been telling me what I can't accomplish. What I'm not going to turn out to be. My whole life people been telling me what I am. And had I listened to what they told me, had I taken it all in and really believed what they told me, to the fact that, man, I was told I would be dead by now. I was told that I'd be in prison for the rest of my life now. I was told I was stupid and dumb. These are my quote unquote family members that quote unquote love me. What are you willing to do for love? What are you willing to go through for love? See, because love is not about it being easy. You're going to have turmoil. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have roller coasters. You're going to have speed bumps along the way. You're going to have setbacks along the way. Can you endure? Can you still go through it loving the person by your side? Or are you going to sit there and start judging them? Are you going to sit there and start criticizing them and condemning them and blaming them? Well, if you wouldn't have did this, if you would did, if you would just listen to me, man, that's judgment. That has absolutely nothing to do with love. Judgment has absolutely nothing to do with love. And so, can you love? Man, I talk a lot about mental health. I talk a lot about love. Man, can you love? I'm gonna move the camera because there we go. Can you love? Can you push past all of the hurt? Can you push past the pain? Can you push past the suffering? Can you push past the disappointments? Can you push past the broken hearts? Can you push past the rejection? That's that red-tailed hawk out there, man. That's my mom, my mom's presence. You know what I mean? Can you push past that? Can you push past all the negativity thrown in your way? Understand that the negativity and all the hate and all the jealousy and all the stupid stuff that come against you is not to stop you. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna try to say it differently. All the things that you go through in life, all the broken hearts, all the disappointments, all the setbacks, all the crap that you're going to go through with your kids, all the crap that you've gone through with your parents. As long as you look at it from an aspect of judgment, there's always going to be a victim mentality. As long as you look at it from a place of judgment, there's always self-righteousness and arrogance and ego attached to that. Can you look at it from a place of love? And what I mean by love, can you look at it and see the lesson in it? Can you look at it and understand, man, this is why I had to go through that. This is why happened. Man, I'm grateful for it. Man, I'm blessed for it. Man, I honor the fact that I got to go through that. Why? Yeah, it hurt. Yeah, it broke me down. Yeah, it broke my heart. Yeah, it frustrated me. Yeah, it set me back for a number of years. And man, but I learned so much. I've grown so much. And that's all that matters. That's what matters. What matters is, can you grow through it? Don't just go through hell, grow through hell. Understand why you're in hell in the first place. Understand why you got to go through the stuff that you got to go through. Understand why you got to navigate through the craziness that you do. And stop looking at yourself as a victim. Stop looking at yourself as the world is against you. Stop looking at yourself as everybody's trying to hold you back. Everybody's trying to hold you down. No, they're not. No, they're not. That's a victim mentality. That's a place of judgment. That's from ego. When you look at it from a place of love, man, when you look at it from a place of love, you sit back and like, dang, what is the lesson? When you look at it from a place of love, you realize how much you've grown through it. When you look at it from a place of love, you see how these circumstances, how these situations have benefited you in your life. When you look at these things through love, you understand that you are a better person for having gone through what you've gone through. So then, when you look at these things, these circumstances and these setbacks and all this other stuff, when you look at them from a place of love, man, you understand that you're better off for having experienced these things. You're better off for having gone through and grown through what you've gone through. Because had you not gone through that, had you not grown through that, you wouldn't have the knowledge, the wisdom, the insight that you have. You wouldn't be as connected to God as you are now. You wouldn't have a desire and a passion for connecting and meditating and getting in alignment with God. You wouldn't have a passion and a desire to help others. We grow through stuff and we go through all the crap that we go through. Why? So that we can become a beacon of hope, of love, of joy, be a light unto the world. Why? Because other people are in darkness too. And they're looking for light. They're looking for somebody to light up their path. They're looking for somebody to show them the way out. Don't try to be like everybody else. Stop trying to get on everybody else's level. Stop trying to get on everybody else's frequency and understand who you are. And light up the world. Light up the world. Because that's why you came here. And if other people say you're arrogant, if other people say you're narcissistic, if other people say you're so right, self-righteous, if they whatever the fuck they say, man, that's their issue. That ain't got shit to do with you. It don't matter what the fuck they say. That doesn't have anything to do with you. And so often our families and our quote unquote friends who know our story, who know the pain and the suffering we've gone through, and they minimize where we're at in life. They minimize the accomplishments we made, and yet they pump up everybody else. They praise and worship everybody else while looking at you like you ain't shit, while looking at you like, you ain't this shit. You ain't about shit. You ain't got millions like that. And you ain't got the fame that they got. You ain't nobody. And that's what they say about you. Even though they know your story, even though they know the pain and the suffering that you've gone through. It's just like I was telling my son, I was like, hold on, time out. And this has come across as harsh. But I was telling my oldest son, I was like, man, who the fuck are you? What the fuck have you done in life? If you was to die today, what would your legacy be? You're 30 years old. By the time I was 30, I was raising 2 kids for years. Not that that was my legacy, but I had already started my growth and development journey. I had already started helping other people heal and grow through the shit that they were going through. And so often young people, or not just young people, people in general, they're quick to criticize you. They're quick to put you down like you ain't shit. And the truth is, they couldn't go through the shit that you've gone through. They couldn't handle the fucking pain and the suffering you've handled. They couldn't live and walk and navigate their way through hell like you did. And so many of them want to put you down. So many of them want to minimize that like that wasn't shit. They want to ignore all the pain and the setbacks that you went through. And they don't understand that, man, we started off at different levels. And what do I mean? I'll put this down for a second. We started out at different levels on our journey. Man, you started out right here with a mom and a dad that were compassionate and loving and caring and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And man, I started out like 45 feet behind you with no dad, with no mom, raised in an abusive family, raised, being sexually molested, and all the other hell I went through. And yet you're complaining that I'm not right here with you. You're complaining and judging me, saying, man, I should be way up here. Motherfucker, I didn't start out right here. It took me a long ass fucking time and a whole lot of shit to grow through just to get to where you started at. And yet you're judging me because I'm, quote unquote, not on your level. I haven't accomplished what you think I should have accomplished. What the fuck have you accomplished? And you ain't gone through shit. You haven't gone through shit compared to what some of us have gone through. And I'm not saying that I've gone through a whole lot compared to others. There's a whole lot of people that's gone through a whole lot worse than I have. But we gotta stop this fucking judging people. We gotta stop being so fucking self-righteous and looking at people and damning them to hell and doing all this other stupid shit because they're not where we think they should be at in life, because they don't act and walk and talk and conduct themselves like we think they should. Who the fuck are you to stand in judgment of anyone? How the hell can you stand in judgment of someone and you've never walked in their shoes? You've never experienced the pain and the suffering and the hell that they have. But you have the audacity to sit back and say, well, dang, you should be further along. You're so woke, you're so educated, you're so spiritual, you're so this and that. Well, how come you didn't have more accomplished in life? Well, how come you haven't done this? Well, how come you haven't done this? And motherfucker, how come you haven't done that shit? You ain't gone through shit. You ain't gone through shit, and you still ain't accomplished shit. So what the fuck does this say about you? And family, I'm sharing this because you have to understand, chosen ones, those of you that are, man, you got that anointing on your life. You got that calling on your life. You've gone through so much. Man, people are going to condemn you. People are going to go off on you. People are going to judge you harshly. People are going to minimize your greatness. People are going to minimize your accomplishments. Why? Because it's not really you. It ain't really about you. It's always really about them. It's always about them. They're using you to make you feel less than. They're using you to put you down. Why? Because they understand that, damn, they ain't did shit with their fucking life. They ain't accomplished shit in their fucking life. And they know that they ain't gone through what you've gone through. They know they ain't had the struggles and the pain and the setbacks and the rejections and the failures that you've had in life. And yet, you've been more of a blessing to humanity than they have. Yet, you've accomplished so much more in life than they have. Yet, you've had so much more of an impact, and you've empowered and positively impacted and touched the lives of people all over. And they know that they haven't. And so when they see you and they hear you talking and they see your videos or they hear you lecturing and they hear you counseling and encouraging and inspiring other people, they get salty. They get hateful. They get judgmental. Why? Because your life is an indictment on the fact that they ain't did shit. Your life is an indictment on the fact that they ain't accomplished what they came here to accomplish. Your life is an indictment on the fact that, damn, how could you have gone through so much pain? How could you have gone through so much brokenness? How could you have gone through so much and still be so fucking loving and still be so fucking compassionate and still be so fucking giving and just want to give to the world and pour out into the world, and they ain't gone through shit, ain't accomplished shit, and they're still not doing what you're doing. They're still not impacting the lives of others like you are. And so they don't understand how you could be the way you are. And so they'll sit there and say, oh, you're just egotistical. Oh, you're just arrogant. Oh, you're just narcissistic. Oh, you're just this and that. Man, I got caught up watching this eagle. Man, it's beautiful. Yeah, I'm not ego, this red-tailed hawk. You're just this and that, man, and it's crazy. It's crazy. That's their craziness, family. Don't get caught up in their madness. Don't get caught up in their madness. Don't become judgmental because they're judgmental. Stay loving. Stay grounded, stay rooted in who you are. Man, and let the motherfuckers get in where they fit in. And if that means that they ain't a part of your life, then so be it. They ain't a part of your life. And I don't give a fuck whether they're your kids, your mama, your daddy, your grandma, your auntie, your uncle. Man, it don't matter. It don't matter. Stop thinking that just because you brought birth to these motherfucking ungrateful ass kids and that you got to keep carrying their ass for the rest of their fucking life and you got to stay connected to their ass for the rest of your life. No, the fuck you don't. If they're self-righteous judgment and they're not doing anything positive or righteous in life, man, love their ass from a fucking distance. Stop lowering yourself to get on their fucking low frequency vibrating ass vibration just to have a relationship with them toxic ass kids. You cannot be all that you came here to be, lowering your standards, lowering your expectations, and getting on a frequency that does not serve your greater good. But you're so insecure, and man, I gotta stick with my family, and I love my kids, and man, I love my kids too, but snip, snip, I cut their motherfucking ass off. You know what I mean? And understand what I'm saying. Learn to love people from a fucking distance. Everybody can't ride with you. Everybody can't go with you. It is what it is. They have their own fucking journey that they got to figure out, that they got to navigate through. And the trip is, family, here's the trip. Here's the cold-blooded part about life. But it is what it is. The great majority of people will never embrace you. The great majority of people will never accept you for who you are and see your accomplishments for what they are until you're dead and gone. Let me say this a different way. When you look at Jesus Christ, when you look at Buddha, when you look at Confucius, when you look at Muhammad, you look at all these people that have had an impact on nature, on society, that's had an impact on the world. They've had far more of an impact after they were dead and gone. They were far more accepted after they were dead and gone. People realized their worth after they were dead and gone. Some people saw what they were capable of. Some people saw them and appreciated them while they were here. But the great majority of humanity didn't give a fuck about what the shit they were talking about until after they were dead and gone. For whatever reason, man, when our actors and our actresses and those we deem as, important in life, man, they're the artists, man, we sit back and we look at their work and we appreciate and value their work more after they're dead and gone. Now we really have an understanding of, damn, we were in the midst of greatness the whole time, and we got fucking spoiled by being in their presence all the time. We got spoiled by being in their presence all the time. We got spoiled watching them perform all the time. We got spoiled listening to their music all the time. We got spoiled watching their movies all the time. We got spoiled reading their books and hearing their lectures all the time. Now that they're gone and we can't reach out to them. Now that they're gone and we can't conversate with them. Now that they're gone, we can't get any new information. Now that they're gone, we're like, fuck, I should have spent more time with them. Now that they're gone, we're like, fuck, I should have been in the presence more. Now that they're gone, we're like, fuck, just give me one more day. Let me ask them some more questions. Let me just learn some more from them. Let me spend some more time with them. Let me just be in their presence. Let me just hug them one more time. Let me just hear their voice one more time. Let me just see their smile one more time. Because we took the shit for granted. We minimized the importance of it. We minimized the importance of who they were in our life. And now that they're gone, man, God, just let me see them one more time. Now that they're gone, God, I realized how important they were. Man, and now we're stuck with regret. Now we're stuck with, man, I fucked up. Man, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. Man, if I could do it all over again. Man, if I could just hold my mama one more time. Man, if I could just hug my granny one more time. Man, if I could just spend the night one more time at my granny's house. Or whatever the case may be. Because they're gone. They're gone. And you realize the value of who they were. You realize the importance of who they were, that you took for granted, that you minimized, that you disrespected. You gave all these other people value. You gave all these other people props, and you pumped up all these other people, and you looked at all these other people in awe and amazement and wonder, and man, you worship all these other people. But now that grandma's gone, now that mama's gone, and mama's cooking is gone, now that daddy's gone, now that whoever, whatever it is, now that they're gone, now you sit there like, fuck. I put all this time chasing all these other people. I put all this time investing in all these stupid ass fucking relationships, chasing all this stupid ass shit. And I should have been investing more time with my granny. I should have been investing more time with my mama. I should have been investing more time with my daddy. I should have been investing more time with this person because I understand their value and what they really meant to me. But while they were here, man, I didn't have time for them because I was hanging out with these people. I didn't have time for them because I was working and busy over here. I didn't have time to learn how mom cooking her ingredients and how she seasons stuff and all that. I didn't have time for that because I'll do it later. I'll get that information later. It was always later. It's always later. Until later doesn't come. And now you're stuck. Now you're stuck. Now you're brokenhearted. Now you're miserable. Let me give me some water real quick. Now you're miserable. Man, we're talking about judgment and love. Family. Man, we have to wake up. Yes, Lisa, we have to wake up. We have to wake up. We have to understand who we are and why we're here. And Trip, when I was in school, I had coaches, and these coaches would be hard on me. You know what I mean? They were hard on me. And I never understood that as a kid. You know, I never understood that as a kid. Why are these coaches always riding me? Why are they always going in on me? Why can't they ever be satisfied or happy with what I do? You know what I mean? How come they're always complaining about my effort? How come they're always complaining about what I'm doing? And the trip is, man, I'm running at everybody else's pace. I'm doing what everybody else is doing. I'm accomplishing what everybody else is accomplishing. And it's like, I didn't understand why the coaches and everybody else was so mad. I didn't understand why they were so frustrated with me. I didn't understand why they were always going on me. I never understood that growing up. I always thought that they were jealous of me. I always thought that they just didn't like me. I always thought they were just hateful of me. I always thought that they were just like everybody else. They're always putting me down. I'm never good enough. What I had to realize later on in life as I grew up was that, damn, these coaches saw something in me. I was satisfied with doing what everybody else was doing. I was content with accomplishing what everybody else was accomplishing. And the coaches saw more in me than that. Because the reality and what I didn't understand was that everybody else was doing their best. I was doing just enough to do what everybody else was doing. I didn't want to do more than what everybody else was doing. I was capable of doing so much more. I was capable of accomplishing so much more. But I didn't want to be seen as different. I didn't want to be seen as standing out. I wanted to just fit in with the crowd. I wanted to do what everybody else was doing. And so I was doing what they were doing. Not understanding. I was selling myself short. They were doing their best, and I wasn't. But I was accomplishing everything that they were accomplishing. And the coaches was mad because they saw greatness, and they saw that I could have done more. They saw that I should be doing more, but I was lazy. I didn't want to do more than everybody else. I wanted to fit in like everybody else. I wanted to be accepted by everybody else. I was tired of being different. And so I did what everybody else did. And it wasn't good enough. And after I grew up, I realized that my coaches were right. I realized that my coaches weren't hating on me. My coaches were trying to inspire me. My coaches were trying to get me to reach my full potential. But because I was so fucking arrogant and self-righteous and judgmental and a damn know-it-all, man, these motherfuckers can't tell me shit. Man, I'm doing what everybody else is doing. And whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Man, I got all this shit to say. But now that I'm grown, now that I've learned some things, now that I grew up, I can sit back like, damn, man, I was dead wrong. I was dead wrong. I fucked up a lot. I wasted and squandered a lot of golden opportunities. Why? Because I'm trying to fit in like everybody else. I'm trying to be on everybody else's level. I'm trying to do what everybody else is doing. I'm tired of standing out. And so I sit back like, damn, what could I have accomplished in life? Where could I be at right here and not right now? You know what I mean? If I knew what I knew then, you know what I mean? And it's something that we all carry with us, something we all deal with, you know what I mean? Man, if I knew then what I know now, man, where would I be financially? Man, where would I be, educationally? Where would I be spiritually? Where would I be intellectually? And whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, man, we have all these things of what we could have done, what we should have done. And so we have to get to a place where we stop standing in judgment. We stop standing in judgment of ourselves. We stop standing in judgment of our parents and those that came before us. We have to stop standing in judgment of those that have come after us. And I've shared this before. And this is crazy. I started this YouTube channel, man, almost 2 years ago, 2020, August 23rd, 2020. That was Kobe Bryant's birthday. And man, I started this channel because, man, that year, 2020, Kobe died. Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther, died. And so I'm looking around at all these black men that were phenomenal in what they did. And they were all younger than I was. And they were all passing away. And it's like, damn, at some point, I too am gonna die. At some point, I too am gonna leave this place. And what do I have to leave behind for my kids? What do I have to leave behind for my grandkids? And so, man, I understand 2020, that was 5 years after my wife had passed away. And it's like I couldn't remember her voice. I couldn't remember what her laugh sounded like. I couldn't remember how, just her demeanor. I don't know if that's making sense. But I remember a lot of things about her, but there's some things that I couldn't remember. I can't remember what my mom's voice sounded like. I can't. She died when I was 2. I can't remember her smile and any of that other stuff. And so 2020, I'm like, damn, I got to start making videos. This is God put in my heart. You got to start making videos. Do it for your kids. Do it for your grandkids. So, because you know what the pain of not knowing what your mama sound like, of not knowing and wanting to hear your mama's voice and you can't hear her voice no more, wanting to see her smile and you can't see her smile, wanting to hear her encourage you and she's gone and she can't encourage you no more. Pictures are great, but pictures, man, they just don't do the same. They're not as intimate as videos, where the video you can hear their voice, the video you can hear them laugh, you can see them laugh, you can hear the knowledge and the wisdom that they gained. And so God was like, start making these videos, make these videos for your kids, make these videos for your grandkids, because God knew. No disrespect to any of you 4,000 people that are subscribed to this channel. God knew that the only reason why I would start making videos was for my kids, for my grandkids. And the trip is, now one of them motherfuckers are subscribed to the channel, you know what I mean? Now one of them watch the videos that I make. And it is what it is, you know what I mean? To each their own, you know what I mean? I'm not standing in judgment, it is what it is, you know what I mean? But that's what God knew was going to take for me to get going. That's what God knew was going to take for me to get started on this platform and start doing the things that I'm doing now. I did it for my kids. and my kids rejected it. I did it for my kids because I didn't have anybody when I was growing up dropping knowledge and wisdom and insight to me. I didn't have that growing up. And so I wanted to do that for my kids so that when they got my age, oh my God, they should be freaking geniuses, you know what I mean? They should be like so much further along, you know what I mean? So I'm doing this for my kids so that they don't have to make the mistakes that I've made. And so, but they've rejected it. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Don't trip. Don't trip. I'm not mad about it. You know what I mean? Jesus came for his people, and his people rejected him. His people offered him up for sacrifice. His people put him up to be killed and the murderer set free. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I ain't mad at nobody. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And so, man, you have to get started. Stop tripping off what everybody say around you. Stop tripping off what your family think about you. Stop tripping off what your mama, your daddy, your auntie, your uncle, your kids, your baby daddy, your baby. Man, stop tripping off what all these people think about you. You didn't come here to appease these people. You didn't come here to seek their affirmations and their validations. You came here to be a beacon of hope. You came here to learn and to grow and to share that information with others. We're all different. We're all different in how we give out information. We're all different in how we deliver our message, how we share our story, our testimony, our experiences, life experiences, whatever. We're all different in how we do that. Man, and there's people that resonate with how I talk, my delivery and what do. And there's some people that can't stand the fact that I talk about God and I can say fuck you at the same time. I can talk about God and they can kiss my motherfucking ass at the same time. You know what I mean? And there's some people that can't stand that. There's some people like, oh no, he doing too much, he going to hell with. And man, to each their own. To each their own. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not here for them then. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I don't care. I just want them to get the message. Whether they get it from me or anybody else, it don't matter. It don't matter. Everybody's not going to accept you. Everybody's not going to embrace you. Everybody's not going to love you and value you. Just because they don't mean that you stop. Just because some people turn their back on you. Just because some people, yeah, they ain't about nothing. You know what I mean? And they tell you you ain't shit, you ain't never gonna be shit, doesn't mean you ain't gonna be shit. You know what I mean? To some people, you ain't shit. To other people, man, you've helped save their life. To other people, man, you've helped them out so much. Man, to other people, you've empowered them and inspired them and motivated and challenged them so much. For those that don't care, for those that reject you, for those that judge you, for those that dismiss you, for those that minimize you, man, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Don't allow that to stop you and distract you. Don't allow that to get you so frustrated to where you just give up. Don't allow that to stop you to where you stop trying to grow and you go right back down to their negative, toxic frequency just to fit in, just to be accepted. Because the truth be told, you're never going to be accepted. You're never going to be validated by them. It don't matter whether you get back on their frequency or not. They're still not going to accept you. They're still not going to embrace you. So you might as well throw up your hands and get busy. Get busy doing what you came here to do. Get busy being a beacon of love. And if they want to stay judging you, man, let them judge you. But don't judge them. Understand that them judging you is out of their pain, out of their suffering, out of their trauma, out of their drama, out of their not understanding who they are and why they're here. And the truth is, every one of us have been in that boat. Every one of us have sat here like, damn, why the fuck am I here? What the fuck is my purpose? And why was I born in this crazy ass toxic family? Why was I born in this fucked up state? Why was I born over here? Man, we've all been there. Every one of us. And so we have to get to the point when we sit back and we look at everybody else, it's like, oh, they're judging me. They're minimizing me. They're disrespecting me. They're doing whatever it is that they do. Man, that really don't have anything to do with me. That's their issues. That's their projections. That's their fear. That's their insecurities. That's something that they're going to have to figure out. That's something that they're going to have to work through. I see them for who they are. And man, even though they're dogging me out, even though they're doing all this stupid shit, man, can I get to a place where I can just, namaste. The God in me sees, recognizes, and acknowledges and cherishes the God in them. It doesn't mean that I got to stay in a relationship with them. It doesn't mean I got to stay connected with them. And that's what you have to understand, family. Just because you love them, don't mean that you have to stay connected to them. Keep doing what you came here to do. Yeah, Michelle, hurt people hurt people. Healed people heal people. I'm going to say it again. Hurt people hurt people. Healed people heal people. And so when these people are hurting you and they're doing all this other stupid shit, understand that's out of their hurt. That's out of their insecurities and all the other shit that they still got to work through. Man, all we could is hope, man, that the light clicks on for them. All we could do is hope that somebody's able to shine the light on them and they're able to see the errors in their way. It's not for us to stand here in judgment like, man, I was there 20, 30, 40 years ago. You should be on that by now. Man, that's not for us to sit there in judgment, because then we're no better than anyone else. Matter of fact, we're worse because we know better. And it's a trip because so many people, they become woke. They get in this spiritual movement and man, they're sitting there judging everybody else because they don't do what we do. And man, you don't meditate like I do. And you don't have a connection with God like I do. And you don't ground like I do. And man, you don't have a platform as big as mine. And because you don't use tarot cards or read tarot cards or oracle cards or you don't do this stuff like I do. And so we stand there in a place of judgment, in a place of arrogance. Understand that judgment and love are two opposing forces. Judgment and love have absolutely nothing to do with each other. We judge out of a lack of love. We judge, condemn, minimize, disrespect. We do all the things that we do like that. That's all toxic. That's all negative frequency. And we do those things because we're not on the love frequency, because we're not on the love frequency. And so when you're connected to God and you're connected and you're loving and you're with, man, you don't have time for judgment. You don't have time for ego. You don't have time for that bullshit. Why? Because you understand that all of that stuff separates you from love. All of that crap separates you from God. Man, my hope and prayer is that you spend some time understanding who you are and why you're here. And that you'll get so connected to God and that you'll become so loving that, man, it don't matter what people do. You can still love them. You can still love them. And there's some people, family, you're going to have to love from a long distance. There's some people you're going to have to love and not have anything to do with again. It's not personal. It's just you refuse to get back on that lower frequency. You refuse to get back into that lower energy. Not because you think you're better than anybody else, but because you have self-love. You value yourself. You value the connection that you have with God. And so you don't allow yourself to lose your connection with God getting on somebody else's frequency. And anytime you want to clap back and snap back and all this other stupid shit and get on somebody else's frequency, you disconnect yourself from God. You disconnect yourself from love. I understand that we're not perfect. We're all a work in progress. I get that. I understand that. That should be our goal. That should be our daily prayer, our daily affirmations. Man, I'm a work in progress. I'm becoming more loving every day. I'm becoming a greater beacon of love, a greater beacon of hope, a greater beacon of joy, of peace. Man, family, it feels so good to be back out here. You know what I mean? Just breathing in this good air, listening to the birds, looking at the water behind me. You know what I mean? Man, it feels so good to be out here in nature. My hope and prayer is that you learn the importance of connecting with nature. You learn the importance of connecting with God. You learn the importance of taking time out for your growth and development. You stop being so busy trying to work and make a living and taking care of everybody else that you're too exhausted to meditate. You're too exhausted to spend some time in nature. You're too exhausted to communicate with God. You're too exhausted to work on yourself. Because if that's who you are, if that's what you're doing, family, you're missing it. You're distracted. You're distracted. I don't care what you got going on in life. It don't matter what you have going on in life. You have to make time to spend some time out in nature. You have to make some time to spend some time connecting and meditating and getting in alignment with God every day. Not once a week, every day. That's a necessity. That's a necessity. Your meditation, you getting in alignment with God, is necessary. It's essential for your growth and development. It's an absolute must. It's an absolute must. And I made a video yesterday or the day before, a return to love. Man, that's all I'm about, family, is love. 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 Man, regardless of whatever the craziness they say, man, love them enough to say, man, I'll pray for you. You know what I mean? I hope that you figure this out. I'm not going to get up in the argument with you. I'm not going back and forth with you. I love you. Think whatever you want of me. I love you. I still see God in you. I may not want anything to do with you because of the frequency you're on, but I love you. Go do you, boo. I love you. I hope you figure it out. I love you guys. We're going to change the world. One person, one heart, and one mind at a time. But it has to start with us. It has to start with us. We have to put in the work to heal from our own trauma and our own drama and our own stinking thinking. We have to heal us first and foremost. Happy healing. Peace.